In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a look at some pretty major storms across the nation, including a potential Gulf tropical cyclone following that very major and very catastrophic Hurricane Helene. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. And then we also are going to be taking a look at the temperature anomalies where a massive Arctic blast is possible during the early month of October. We're then going to be navigating back over to the tropics and kind of finishing up, taking a look at all of our chances and storms out there in the Atlantic. And there's actually a lot of them right now. Let's just dive into things. And as we take a look here at the upcoming pattern, and as we look at this evening here today on Sunday, September 29th, we do see some storms around that U.S.-Canadian border in the northwest. This is coming both in the forms of snowfall and rainfall depending on your elevation, so that is definitely a factor for those areas, as we've seen the beginning of wintertime and really the snow season for those northern Cascades, so we're seeing that continue there. We also see showers, maybe even thunderstorms here throughout the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic. And this is kind of the remnants of Helene here, still bringing rainfall to these areas. And, you know, nobody really needs any more rainfall from that system, but we are continuing to see it here. Let's just take a look as we move towards Monday afternoon. And what we see is, again, showers, thunderstorms taking place here in the very, very same areas. Your jet stream is troughing over the west with a massive ridge here over the east. As we get a very brief warm pattern before October starts, we are expecting a bit of a cool dip here as we move into the beginning of October. So let's just take a look at it. This is Tuesday on October 1st. What we're seeing is the jet stream is now ridging a little bit for the west, troughing over the central states, and that is moving towards the east. We do have some storms around here for the southeast as well, and along that cold front as that colder air is moving in. Very typical stuff, but could bring more rainfall to the east. Not that they really need it at this point for most areas. As we take a look here at Wednesday, October 2nd, we're left with a cooler, more seasonal pattern here for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast here with some rainfall around. Again, we're going to be watching these tropics as potential tropical cyclones want to take place here. Let's just move this towards Thursday on October 3rd. We do see some low pressure out there in the Gulf. Really nothing to discuss over the continental United States. We see a zonal flow, which means this jet stream is mostly moving from west to east directly. This will likely bring near normal conditions. As we just move forward towards Friday on October 4th, we see a ridge over the west, trough over the east, and we're getting, again, another cool dip, especially in these north central and northeastern spots, but could even extend into the south here. A little bit cooler than normal, and warmer and drier than normal out west is going to be the trend here during this early October time frame. Saturday, we see that trough kind of lift off again. Tropical moisture is around. We're not seeing too much development on this European model, which has been the trend, but also this model was the #1 model against tropical storm and eventually major hurricane Helene developing, and obviously we know what ended up happening with that, so we are going to take this with a grain of salt for sure. Let's take this towards Sunday on the 6th, and we do see a stronger low south of the Hudson Bay with a cold front underneath, and this is a classic look for bringing colder air into the eastern states. Typically this is how we see these strong cold fronts form. We also have some lower pressure forming over the Gulf, but again, this storm is the most, this model is the most hesitant to really develop anything. We do see this stronger storm on the very southern extent of the Hudson Bay, strong cold front over a lot of the east here, and a very weak tropical cyclone nearby the coast of Florida, somewhere between maybe even just a depression, honestly, there if this model did verify. So stormy up and down the east here because of these multiple factors, but overall, a cold dip is taking place here nearby that Monday the 7th time frame. Tuesday on the 8th, we do have a nor'easter near New England. Even though we're in more of a La Nina or neutral ENSO phase, these do happen still, and we do see a weaker La Nina, or a weaker nor'easter there, bringing some rainfall to the New England area and also some cooler air overall. As we finally reach Wednesday the 9th, we see a lot of the same here. Nothing too major is happening, and overall we're left with kind of a quieter pattern. Let's take a look at the GFS model. I want to really track this tropical cyclone on this one. We do get a couple areas of development actually here. We have a low pressure system there in the western Gulf nearby Texas, and then we have one kind of following in Helene's footsteps going straight through this sweet spot between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. Let's see what ends up happening with this, and it does move towards the panhandle of Florida, and look at it, it just stalls out down to a 996, so a little bit stronger, but we don't really get too much development on this particular GFS model run. We end up with kind of East Coast storminess here after that 8th, 9th time frame. But let's just track this. Watch this. This is a major Arctic blast that this model has. Again, all starting out with a low pressure system near the southern Hudson Bay. This is Sunday, October 13th. Strong indication of cold air moving eastward. We have strong ridging in the west. Let's watch what happens. Look at this. Absolute monster Arctic blast into the eastern United States. Lake effect snowfall happening in mid-October, and plenty of snowfall around for eastern Canada. So this would be a huge switch up. Let's just take a look at the temperature anomalies. Again, some cooldowns here in the east. There's cooldown number 1, October 1st, 2nd moves through, but overall warmer air prevails. But then we get another cooldown, especially in the north for the 5th, 6th, 7th, and up and down the east coast dealing with cooler temperatures. And then here we go. We're in a warmer phase, but look at this Arctic blast move in. This is the 13th, 14th, 15th here, and the blues outside of the greens are 1 to 10 degrees below normal, which ranges anywhere from slight to moderately cold temperatures compared to typical. The greens are far below average, 10 to 15 degrees, and then your blues within those greens, which are widespread throughout the deep south into the Midwest, Ohio Valley there, that is where we have 15 to 25 degrees below normal. Absolute monster Arctic blast popping up here on this GFS model, and we have warmer temperatures really prevailing here throughout a lot of the western states, which allows for this cooldown in the east to even take place. As we take a look at the overall tropics, we do have Tropical Storm Isaac, which will dissipate, Tropical Storm Joyce that will stay out there in the middle of the Atlantic, Tropical Depression 12, which we will be tracking. Another area of potential development there in what we call our MDR, which is off the coast of Africa, between Africa and the Caribbean. So this one could follow in that Tropical Depression 12's footsteps. This is a 0% chance over the next 48 hours, but a 30% chance over the next 7 days. Could be something to watch down the road. Our main concern is definitely this Gulf system, where we currently sit at a 0% chance over the next 48 hours and a 50% chance over the next 7 days. Definitely could be something to watch. And again, these areas definitely don't need to deal with this, but, you know, could end up occurring, could end up being something major, as we know the Gulf is very conductive for tropical development, so we're going to be watching it closely. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.